Mavs have a shot versus the Warriors.
Yes, they do. They won't win. Now, who the hell am I to say that after how wrong I was about my prediction in Game 7? I had it right up until that damn last game. I had to apologize to Jason Kidd this morning. It is what it is. I'm going with the Warriors. I'm not jumping off this bandwagon. See, because Warriors ain't going to miss shots the way Phoenix was missing them yesterday. That ain't going to happen. And I'm worried. Don't get me wrong. I will say this. I've been on the record, Bev. JJ knows this. I've been with the Warriors all season long. The Warriors and how they've looked the last 3 games, they ain't winning the chip. They keep playing this way. I just don't believe it'll last. I believe Klay Thompson, Steph Curry, Jordan Poole will find their groove against Dallas. I think that Dallas will win a couple of games. I can see. Right now, I got the Warriors in 6. That's where I'm going with this right now. That's my belief. Warriors in 6, and they go back to the finals.
Can't disagree with that. I think the Warriors have one thing that a lot of teams don't have, and that's a defensive, consistent presence. I believe Draymond Green can guard Luka. I really do. He's not one of those wiry guards where you can just bang and post. He's not one of those guys who leaves his feet all the time. They have, no disrespect to their body types, but they kind of have the similar kind of husky body type. You just can't bag them down. You just can't hit Draymond with one move into the hole. So they have somebody that can kind of, I wouldn't say guard Luka, but make it hard on him. Wiggins, the rookie. Cowabunga, I don't care how you say his name.
Kuminga's his name.
Yeah, that's his name. Yeah, but he's a rookie, so I'm not going to give his real name yet. But, there's some people down on their team that can guard him. And Luka, he going to be in chase mode all night. You got to chase Steph Curry around, Poole around, Klay around, and we'll see how it goes after that.
The Mavs definitely have a chance in the series, obviously, because they have Luka Doncic.
A chance to what?
A chance in the series.
To?
Oh, it's a chance.
To what?
I think, again, you don't particularly appreciate the Suns and how good they were this year, and I'm okay with that.
No, we're talking about Dallas. We're talking about Dallas.
But I think we should give some credit to Jason Kidd and the game plan that he had from Game 3 on. They attacked Chris Paul. They blitzed him. They blitzed Booker. Nothing the Suns did was comfortable. And so I'm very curious to see what his game plan is with the Warriors, who are a very different team than the Suns. Different shot profile, different offensive movement. I'm also curious to see who he targets. The Mavericks, they're one of the top teams in the league in terms of ISO possessions per game. Golden State is in the bottom half of the league in guarding ISOs. So I get your Draymond. I don't think Draymond can guard Luka one-on-one.
But those statistics are based off an unhealthy Golden State team also. Draymond Green, he's been hurt in half the season, so those numbers aren't as accurate as those numbers are.
Let me say this.
And we did give Jason Kidd a lot of credit. Right. He texted him. Yeah. I gave him credit. You gave him credit. That's enough credit.
No.
I mean, how much else you want us to give him? He did a hell of a job.
He can easily say he was the MVP of Game 7 the way that he coached, no doubt about it. What I would say to you is this, though. When you look at it, can Draymond guard Luka? Yeah, but not for a long period of time. I think he'll find himself in foul trouble. I'm looking at the combination of Draymond. I'm looking at Andrew Wiggins. I'm looking at Kuminga and Klay. Now, Klay isn't the defender that he once was. He's coming back from his injury. He had a 2-year layoff. I think he'll be even better next year than he was this year. But I'm just saying, you've got some bodies that's legit 6'6", 6'7". This ain't Luka with CP3 defending him. Okay, and he's CP3 coming up to the middle of his back for crying out loud. That's how short he is compared to Luka. They got some size on Golden State who know how to move their feet. Now that doesn't mean that Luka's not going to get his. He'll get his, but it'll be tougher. And I also think that other dudes are going to find it tough to get off as well. The Dinwiddies, the Cleavers of the world, the Dorian Finney-Smiths of the world, people like that. Even the Jalen Brunson, who I've been impressed by doing that throughout these playoffs. I just think it's going to be considerably tougher for them Golden State. I got Golden State in 6. Thanks for watching ESPN on YouTube. For live streaming, sports, and premium content, subscribe to ESPN+.